Are you looking for more out of your life? Do you need ideas on how to start new businesses and how to move forward in your own personal life? Well, guess what? You have come to the right radio show. At You Can Overcome Anything podcast show, you will learn and hear from many people from all walks of life who are sharing their challenges, their stories, the habits, and the mind shifts they had to overcome to become who they are today. On top, you will get a chance to connect and see how you can overcome anything by networking and learning about your next move through this radio show. I present to you our great speakers at You Can Overcome Anything podcast show with your host, Cesar Espino. Hello there, and welcome back to another episode of You Can Overcome Anything podcast show. It is your host, Cesar Espino. And today I have a special guest. He's a young American wildlife artist and gallery owner with works that are sold nationwide. His gallery, Corwin Galleries, is situated in Montana's Bitterroot Valley, an area recently popularized by the television series Yellowstone. James found success as an art entrepreneur not just through his artistic talent, but by exploring innovative avenues of online marketing. He has built a multi-million dollar brand and it is defining the concept of the starving artist. James has had a long relationship with personal and business resilience, going growing up in Montana as a member of the LGBTQ plus community. His journey has taken him from selling art at local shows in Montana, mountain town, to becoming a gallery owner and a nationally recognized artist. He has found success despite having his first business partners take off with a large financial investment, all the money he had at the time. Having a vehicle drive into the building where he had his first gallery and realizing his Aspen gallery expansion was a bust. Finding ways to redirect his efforts after experiencing failure has been intrinsic to James' success. Hey, James, welcome to the show. How are you today?
Hey, good. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, I gotta tell you that I love just listening to your introduction. I love the fact that you've definitely have overcome many different obstacles and are
Oh yeah.
still pushing through. Before we dive into that, though, I love to know more about the person. So tell me about where are you originally from and how was your upbringing?
Yeah, I am from Montana. I grew up here and still live here because it's such a beautiful state. I tried to live other places and just kept coming back. And I grew up in a little log cabin in the mountains, and my playground was just the backyard that just went on for miles up into the mountains. So I would find ways to entertain myself with the little critters and treasures of the forest that I would find.
Yeah.
And also going through a Montessori school system where much of my learning was self-exploration and self-learning. I think a lot of that and living in the mountains helped really cultivate that entrepreneurial spirit that I have now.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
awesome. You know what? I know that when when we're growing up and obviously you had this big yard, right? You have many things you can kind of explore and kind of just see things from a different perspective, right?
hmm
There's always that question, when that kids are being asked when they're growing up. It's like, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up, right? What was that dream for
Yeah.
you?
Oh man, I wanted to be an actor
Okay.
or do something in film, maybe even musical composition, film scoring. I was really into writing music for a number of years, and art really wasn't a part of any of that. But I did realize that I'm terrible at acting, and
Okay.
also that there's so many people who write better songs and music than I do, and found like, well, I guess I'm okay at art, so let's give this a go.
Yeah.
But it had to be something creative. I knew growing up that I wanted to work for myself and do something creative.
Yeah. What was like the first time that you kind of put, a pen or pencil to a paper and kind of essentially being your beginning or discovery phase of like, and this might be something I'm interested in.
Yeah, yeah. I when I was a kid in school, I would draw a lot, and I remember other kids coming up and saying, "Oh, that's really good. Will you draw something for me or help me with my drawing?"
Mm,
And I was, I guess, known as the person who could draw well. And but that kind of I don't know, that idea eluded me for a while, and I didn't do much art until I was in high school. My junior and senior year, I got back into it, and that's where the everything really took off.
got you. Now, coming out of high school, did you go into like the typical 9 to 5 job before, jumping into being an entrepreneur, or you just kind of went head on doing that?
Yeah, when I graduated high school, I went to college, but during the years in college and the summer, I would create paintings that I would take to farmers markets on the weekends and
Mm,
different art fairs and festivals around the area and set up a booth and a little table and exhibition and sell my work there. And that's what I did for a number of years. And that was my job. During the week, I would create all these little paintings and then display them on the weekends. And
got
it
it.
was actually quite lucrative.
Yeah, for sure. Was that your major or minor? Was that what you were studying? Okay, got it, got it.
Hmm.
Cool. Yeah. So even being able to like just draw some stuff and I just want to get that from your perspective, right? Being able to draw something and say, hey, you know what, like, it's my free time. Let me go into farmer's market or whatever. Do it. You go outside and try to sell this art. Like, what was your thought process? What was going on through your head to be able to find that courage? Because at the end of the day, it is
Yeah.
courage to step out into something that, hey, a lot of times one of the things that I tell people is like we go through a lot of different things. Like, one, we got to find the
Hmm.
courage. Number two,
Yeah.
there's all this internal dialogues and conversations taking place inside of us, right? That might be saying,
Right.
hey, like, James, who are you kidding? Are you really gonna do this? Like, who's gonna buy this? And I don't know if you were having these conversations or not. Nevertheless, tell me a little bit about that because I think that there's a learning process through that.
Yeah. I, looking back, originally, I was also posting images of my paintings on Facebook. So family and friends would see them and message me and say, "Hey, that's beautiful. Could I buy it?"
Mm,
And at the time they were like 20 bucks a piece. And I was sure, but that kind of gave me the idea that people were receptive of my work and interested in purchasing it, which gave me little doses of confidence. And up till now, I've always enjoyed the transaction of creating a piece of work and finding the buyer who loves it and creating that sale, the exchange. And I I don't know. I guess I don't know if I've ever been nervous or for lack of a better word, scared to go out there and try and sell my work, but rather it's exciting and motivating for me to find that buyer and
yeah,
to create that exchange because it's exciting for me. It's rewarding and it I don't know, helps motivate me to create the next piece and do it again and again. So those early doses of selling them on Facebook gave me that realization that, oh, maybe I have something here and I should try this, at a farmer's market. And of course, I was very young and very nervous to go there by myself and set up my little booth and start
yeah,
talking to people. But people would buy and it would be fun and exciting, and I would want to do it again.
right. Yeah, got it. Talk about your experience with your business partners that literally left you dry. Like, how was that? What happened
Oh,
there?
which ones? I've had
Okay.
many.
Got you. Got it.
Yeah. Oh gosh. And, silly, naive mistakes too. Like a really good friend that in South Africa that I would go visit and spend time with and go on safaris with. And every time we go on safaris, we talk about opening a game farm in South Africa. And so finally had the capital to do so and sent him the money and then never heard from him again. So there's
Wow.
things like that.
Yeah.
There's, gosh, just different, know, uh, people. I think there's a lot of value in hiring people and building a team. Certainly, I wouldn't be where I am without having that team, and I continually delegate and hire out more positions. But it is, key is finding the right people, of course, and but that also comes with a lot of trust.
Yeah.
And there's also instances where these people didn't really leave me high and dry, but it wasn't the right person for the job, and that's expensive.
Right.
When you make the wrong hire, but then you just learn how to make the right hires. But I've also learned I'm terrible at hiring people. I like, oh, you seem cool. We get along. Like,
Right. Yeah.
come join the family. But otherwise, I just always, I don't know. Maybe I don't have the best judgment of
Yeah,
character.
no, I get you. Yeah. Well, and there's definitely lessons to be learned through that, right? Like you said, right? I always, uh, one of the things that I've learned through that process is like, you got to make sure that you hire slowly and
Yep.
fire fast, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's the opposite. You hire fast and you take forever to fire somebody that is not performing or not helping you or not really seeing that vision that you have. And then at
Right.
the end of the day, that's costing you a lot more money, right? And so you
Yeah.
have to kind of take that time and find the right fit slowly but surely. And then if they're not, immediately cut corners with them, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
From that
Exactly.
perspective. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your art. What is your main focus? I see the art right behind you is very beautiful.
Yeah.
Tell
Thank
me
you.
exactly what is your one, where do you find inspiration, right, to do the
Mhm.
type of art that you do? And tell me about a type of art that you're doing.
Yeah, I primarily paint wildlife,
Okay.
and that can be wildlife from all over the world, but based here in Montana, I tend to
Yeah.
paint a lot of moose, like the
Okay.
one behind me, and bears and elk. Uh, but what people have told me about my work and what I also try to do with the pieces that I imagine is create an emotion
Mhm.
that the viewer feels when they look at the piece. I like to create ideas that really draw you in and really move you in some way. And maybe going back to that wanting to be an actor with music, there's a lot of storytelling, and that's what I'm trying to capture in my work is a snapshot of a story
Mhm.
and that has that emotional aspect.
Got it. Looking at the painting behind you, how
Mhm.
long does it take to do one of those pieces?
Yeah, this one is taking a bit longer because it's complex. So it's taking me a couple weeks. It's a commission actually for a client. So they wanted a big, powerful bull moose kind of walking as if it's coming out of the canvas with the
Mm.
Teton Mountains in the back and fall aspen trees and a lot of color. So I put all these ideas together. This is the concept I came up with, and they loved it. So now I'm
Got it. So I love
putting
that.
it to
So
canvas.
yeah, got it. So I love what you just mentioned. So then, so you can, it's kind of like, what is that buy to order, right? Somebody can
Yeah.
you say, hey, James, like I want something like this, and they
Oh,
give you a
yeah.
lot of ideas, and then you kind of create and give them the concepts and say, hey, here's what I have in
Mhm.
mind, and then they can kind of say, yeah, I like that one, and then you get to work.
Absolutely. I'm doing commissions all the time, which is great because somebody can get something specific that they want in a size that they want. But
Hmm.
it's fun for me because I take their ideas and I build up mock-ups in Photoshop and send it to them for review, and we can easily change things. So far, I have found AI to not be helpful at all in helping generate my ideas, but that might be because I'm prompt illiterate. But
Yeah.
no, I'm using a whole bunch of photos and taking elements out of each and recreating this scene that I'm imagining in my mind.
Got it. Okay. No, that's awesome. So, tell me, like, to get to this point, like, how long has been that journey, and what are maybe three major lessons that you've learned through that journey to get to the point where you are right now?
Yeah, that's a great question. One lesson that comes to mind straight off is that the growth it takes longer than I anticipate,
Hmm.
but I've also learned to enjoy that time of growing so that I don't try and push and grow too fast to reach certain uh, benchmarks that I'm aiming for, because that's when I feel like I tend to do mistakes or grow in an unstable way.
Okay.
So with focus on growth, but focusing on growth that's very has a strong foundation, um, has allowed me to get to where I am, but a little more slowly, and also I'm able to enjoy that
Yeah.
journey a little bit more and not be like crazed and stressed in doing so. Also, marketing has been incredibly resourceful. I don't think, I know a lot of artists don't utilize marketing, specifically with like ads on Facebook or Google. Um, and I tell them to, but for whatever reason, artists are very they're their own type of people,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I like to think that I don't fall into that category of artist, so to
Yeah.
speak. Um, but marketing is incredibly important. You know, attention is the new currency, right?
Yeah.
So as more the more attention you and eyeballs you can get onto your art, the more successful you'll be. It doesn't The name of the game isn't how good of an artist you are,
Hmm.
it's how good are you at playing the game and marketing and being out there. So that's been a lesson I've learned kind of recently in building, focusing on building a brand and an image. And then third, um, I I love to take action, and that obviously comes with risk.
Mm.
And I do whatever I can to mitigate the risk and do my research. But I think being able to, again, be where I am now and will continue to go is not being afraid to tackle challenges and try new things that I believe will help the business, and such things as opening more gallery locations
Okay.
or hiring more people or trying new product lines, things like that. But again, sometimes it doesn't work, and
Right.
that's just that's business, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And how long has it taken you, essentially to get to where you are right now? What has been that the journey for you? How many
Yeah.
years to
Well,
this point?
I went in full time in 2014, so it's been
Okay.
11 years.
Gotcha.
And before that was college and
Yeah.
the time of doing the uh, festivals and
Yeah.
markets and stuff. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. I like what you said, and I would allude that that's part of the reason why you've been able to go from just Montana in that local area to a nationwide.
Hmm.
And I think that's what you were talking about it, and is being able to understand that marketing is critical
Hmm.
to be able to know that if you want to grow and not just be another local artist, you have to be able to put yourself out there, right? You have to be able to learn
Yeah.
how to navigate through the different marketing channels that we have now, and especially right now with social
Right.
media, right? Whether it's paid ads or organic ads, is being able
Hmm.
to understand how can I get my message out? How can I show the world what I'm trying to create here for
Hmm.
them? You've taken, now you went from, like you said, maybe back in the day selling a picture for, or a painting for $20 to what is
$20.
now, if you don't mind disclosing, like what has been your most biggest piece that you've sold?
Yeah. Well, I sell pieces in 20,000, 30,000 on up now. So whoever had those original paintings got a good return.
Right, for sure. Yeah, yeah. Well, I love that. I love that. So, tell me a bit about more about. Okay, now you're here. You're in a. Are you consider yourself in a growth stage, or more of a stable stage right now?
Oh, definitely growth.
Okay,
I'm still like this year where I'm up, I think 37%
okay,
already this year over last. So,
nice.
and
That
I've only been focusing on, well, top on gross on increasing that, but mostly net, trying to increase the margins.
got it.
Yeah.
This might be something that maybe people might be going through, right? You said, hey, you were going to school, you were learning on how to do painting and all that stuff, right?
Hmm.
But one of the biggest things that some people unfortunately do not have or don't understand quite uh, well is how to run a business, right? Because essentially you're
Yeah.
running a business now. So it's not just, hey,
Right.
I'm here producing something beautiful for people to have. Like you
Hmm.
say, you're talking about not projections, you're still talking about year over year growth and things like that. How did that come to you, or where did you learn some of the best techniques, I guess, to be able to manage your business? And although you still got to get better at hiring people,
Right.
imagine the other stuff, right?
Yes, I love business. I'm passionate about it. So I've always read business books. I continue to do that, and also listening to, podcasts, business podcasts, the audiobooks while I'm painting. So I'm absorbing that information every single day and
Okay.
doing my best to apply it where I can.
Okay, good, good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what's next for you? So obviously you're seeing a
Hmm.
37% growth over last year.
Hmm.
What is kind of like, we're almost end of this year, a couple of more months and I think it's gonna be done, right? What are some other
Yeah.
objectives you're trying to
Seriously.
reach, yeah, right? By the end of the year.
Yeah, working on building the media side of the business, so bringing in more people to capture and film content in the studio and produce content and just get out there because right now I can it hardly post like once a day upon all the channels and I want to be posting 5 to 10 times a day.
Got it. Okay, good,
Yeah.
good. I believe in life, personal life and work life
Hmm.
balance, right? Although
Yeah.
I don't know if you're like me, where I'm an entrepreneur, I don't have a 9 to 5, and whatever I do to me is like play, like I'm like people
Yeah.
sometimes ask me, hey, when are you on vacation? I'm like, I'm always on vacation. When are you
Yeah.
working? I'm always
Right.
I'm always working, right? Because I enjoy what I do. So I don't know if it's the same
Yeah.
for you. And having that said, tell me a little bit about your lifestyle in terms of being able to find it, because I think that's critical
Hmm.
when you're an entrepreneur to be able to understand and be able to have that balance day in and day out. So what's a day like for you?
Yep. I'm usually up between 6 and 7 and have my coffee and just sit for a moment to just kind of wake up and think about the day. And then I usually roll into doing emails and starting work by like a little before 8. And then I'm just working, painting, talking to employees till about 6 or so. And then have the evenings off to, you know, cook and and in between and midday, I go work out
Okay.
around 11 or 12. But weekends, I'm usually not working either. And going back to that part where I said the growth is more slow, but enjoying the journey. Certainly, I can put a little gas on what I'm doing now, but
Mm,
that comes with sacrifices on my time, such as weekends and evenings. And, summer in Montana is incredible, and it's hard to be inside on a sunny day.
yeah,
So I want to
right.
be out hiking in the mountains. So, and be with my family too. I I find that I'm happier and even more productive, perhaps, if I am allowed the time of my working, but also time to enjoy life and without, you know, constantly just spending the time working, even though I could easily do that because I love what I do. Um, but yeah, I think it's important to have a little bit of balance.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said about what you just mentioned, and I see it a lot, and I think it's huge and it's critical. I think people need to really recognize that, and you said something, while you could probably pump more gas to go way faster, right? At
Definitely.
the end of the day, I think what is so important from that right there is that you said, except I feel like I'm more happy, right? I'm happier.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of times where people are literally uh working hard in whatever that might be, and they're jeopardizing other things in
Yeah.
their lives that well, I do believe money is definitely important and is huge.
Hmm.
One lesson that is for me that I've learned is that if I'm just doing it for the money, that
Hmm.
is going to end pretty soon. And so
Yeah.
I tell people, if you're doing it for the profits, you're doing it wrong. I think you got to
Hmm.
do it for the purpose, and then the profits will come, right? And the profit
Right.
will be, hey, let me be
Exactly.
more happy, let me be more content with myself. I feel better. I feel more uh, 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 clear minded, and many
Yeah.
different things, right? And so I think that's huge. One thing that you mentioned. The other thing that I think I like what you talked about is being able to find that balance, right? Like you say, hey, I woke up early. I believe everybody has to have some sort of Tony Robbins refers to them as rituals, some daily
Hmm.
habits that are going to help
Yeah.
you kind of move forward. And then the other thing too is you're talking about going out because it's nice, spend time with the family, going into
Hmm.
you're essentially utilizing that because I'm sure it's giving you ideas of like,
Oh, yeah.
that's something that hey, I can probably do,
Absolutely.
right? So that's kind of
Yeah.
you're doing two for one right there for sure.
Yeah. I find that uh, if all the time is spent into working to, make the next million or whatever to ultimately achieve a lifestyle, I have to backtrack from that and be like, wait, hold up. If my goal is to get to this point so I can live this way, well, I can already live that way where I am now, which is what I'm doing. I can you know, have the cake and eat it too,
Right, exactly.
And
Yeah,
it's like,
100%.
oh, I don't have to be like, there to, you know, finally enjoy the prosperity of it all, you
Yeah.
know?
Oh, that's awesome. And I hear Montana is beautiful. I have a good friend of mine, and I have never been, but I hear it's very nice. And so that definitely, obviously, there's a specific time, right, of the year. I forget exactly when.
Oh yeah,
It's very nice, and I'm like, well, I definitely need to check that out sooner than later for sure.
it's
So,
very nice.
but no, that's good. So let me ask you this: if people want to get kind of an idea, a glimpse of some of the past paintings you've done, and or even say, hey, I like that, and maybe I want to get one of those, different, type of format or whatever. How can they get a hold of you? Find out more about your past paintings, what you have going on, what you're working on. Where can people find you and connect with you?
Yeah, it's jamescorwin.com is my website, Corwin. If you type James Corwin into Google, a lot of my art will come up, my websites. My Instagram is James Corwin, so is Facebook, YouTube. It's all the same. So I'm glad I secured those handles early on.
Yeah, right. I know. I was doing the same thing, and I couldn't secure Facebook, but I got all the other ones, so that's
Yeah, right.
quite cool. So
Nice.
yeah. So all right, good, good. So that's where they can find you and connect with you. Awesome.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, great. And sign up for the newsletter as well.
oh,
That's
cool.
when I share new pieces.
Got it. I love that. I love that. So let me ask you this. You gave me a lot of great things already. See if I can get a couple more things out of you.
Hmm.
Some great ideas. So the people that are watching or are listening to us, and if they're going through any any challenge
Mm.
whatsoever, what will be one or a couple of advices that you can give them so they can overcome that challenge?
Oh, yeah. I just got chills because I still go through challenges frequently. And what I found is, as painful as they are, and they suck, and I don't know how long it lasts, it I have to be better than my conscious self and remind myself that these are powerful opportunities to fix something that's broken in the business.
Mm.
Something, there's a reason there's this a hurdle right now, there's a challenge, and you might be aware of what needs to be fixed or not, but the job is to find that, to fix it, optimize, whatever, and that, so then you can, overcome it. And that only makes your business stronger, makes you stronger as a person, your character, and your ability to fix future issues. So when problems like that arise, it's a red flag, but also an opportunity to really make your business better is how I see it.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. No, and that's huge. And again, as you said, I think we're always going through some sort of challenge, and it's the matter
Yeah.
of recognizing and being able to say, hey, I need to come ahead. Otherwise, that
Yeah.
can end up hurting you long run.
Right, right. You just have to, you can't give up. You have to go through it. You have to grit your teeth, and you can either, hate it, or you can have a little fun with it and just be like, well, this sucks, but this is going to ultimately be a good thing. So let's do it.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that. Well, James, man, I gotta say thank you. I had a really good time with you on this interview,
Likewise.
and I wanted to see if there's any other things you want to share with us that you want the listeners to know about you, or anything you would like to share.
Sure. Oh gosh. Yeah, I would just love to hear from any of the listeners who felt inspired or just enjoyed this conversation to send me an email and just say hi, that I enjoyed the podcast, because I I love doing this. But then, it's nice to know that people are listening on the other end and enjoying the information.
For sure. No, I love that. I love that. Well, James, again, thank you again for being here. Really appreciate the time and all the wealth of knowledge you just given us. So thank you for that.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Yeah, for sure. And for the rest of you guys, do me a favor. Please make sure that you guys connect with James. Go ahead and look him up. Send him an email. And then, at the bare minimum, do me a favor. Please make sure that you share this episode with other people, because definitely somebody needs to hear it. And I'll see you guys at the next episode of You Can Overcome Anything podcast show. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Cesar Espino, real estate investor, business coach, and consultant, and author of the book, You Can Overcome Anything, Even When the World Says No. My number is 424-501-6046. In my book, I talk about making the necessary changes to shift your mind for prosperity and certainty. Pick up your copy at Amazon. I also love helping families with their real estate and can purchase your house fast and all cash. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. My number is 424-501-6046.
Thank you for having me today. I am so glad you've tuned into this podcast. You can find me at your favorite podcast platform where you can like, subscribe, comment, and share. And to learn more about myself, my services, you can find me at www.cesarrespino.com, or you can also find me at your social media. Thanks for joining me, and I am looking forward to having you at the next episode. And know you truly can overcome anything.